So how do you feel about that, Chuck? Should we try to give people feedback? Should we try to answer, when we get 100 resumes, should we send 90 people an email that says, you don't look like you're qualified?
It would be a very nice world if we could do that, I suppose, in some way to be try to be helpful to every person who reaches out to us to contact us about a job. But I don't think that any of our, especially in a small business, have the bandwidth to do that.
Yeah.
And I think the expectation probably among candidates is it's not there. What is great is when you're able to find somebody, identify them quickly and reach them quickly, because you've never heard anybody as surprised as the candidate who gets a call the next day and says, you applied for a job yesterday and we see that you match up with some stuff we're looking for and we'd like to talk to you. What?
And that's a really good point, Chuck, and I'm glad you brought that up. I think a lot of times clients don't look at this from the candidate's standpoint, and so they kind of get around to hiring when they have time and when they're not busy. But candidates are out there looking for a job all the time. And so if you can respond to them quickly, get them in for an interview quickly, it engages them in a process in a much different way than if you're dragging it out and they've got 5 other offers or opportunities on the table.
Absolutely. And if you can tell your candidates in advance, like right at the beginning, what the process is going to look like.
Yeah. Set some expectations.
Set some expectations. Tell them how many steps it's going to be. Tell them how much time they're going to have to invest. What I like to think about in the recruiting process is the balance of power.
Right? Tell me, yeah.
Right? So if I put a job ad out there to hire somebody, then my perception is all the power is in my hands because I have the job and they have to come to me to get the job. And to a certain extent, in that first step, that's right. So I put it out there and I get a bunch of people in. Now, folks in various organizations are putting up a lot of barriers to applying now, and so there might be multiple steps, multiple assessments, multiple interviews, and depending on how you treat your candidates in that process and lay out the expectations, you can drive the people that you're actually trying to hire away fast if you haven't set it up properly. So if you're looking for a fairly high-level person or you don't have very many people to choose from, they actually are gold to you, and you need to treat them like gold to start with, as opposed to, hey, I have 750 candidates for a reception position.
Yeah.
I don't really have to treat any one of them that well because I'm likely to find somebody in that pool.
I had a client that had set up a process that had 3 phone screen steps before a face-to-face interview, and I said, how would that feel to you as a candidate? It feels to me like you don't really care about these candidates very much, and if that's true, if you don't care about them very much, then fine. But if you do, what's going to be gained by that second and third phone screen that is really going to eliminate candidates that you wouldn't eliminate in the first 5 minutes of a face-to-face?
Yeah, or if you're going to set up that process, make sure you communicate that where they are so that they feel valued. Hey, we got 600 people apply. We talked to 30. Now we're only taking 10 to these next steps. One of the hardest parts in our business is that for every recruiting process, there's only one winner. Everybody else is disappointed.
Yeah.
And so candidates understand that, but they need to be made to feel like they're being treated properly, even though they may not win at the end. And leaving them with a good feeling, even if they don't get the job at the end, is really important to your business. If it's a business-to-consumer business, your reputation is on the line. If it's a business-to-business business, your reputation is on the line. People talk about your company.
Absolutely. Yeah. And candidates talk to each other. I mean, the unemployed people are networking, and they talk about, oh, yeah, I applied for 3 jobs there. I mean, their process was insane. I don't know if it's even worth your time.
And it's on websites. There are actually websites dedicated to bad recruiting experiences. Go look at IBM on a website or Verizon. Just Google bad recruiting experiences for IBM, and you'll get a whole long list. Right? The losers are not very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.